What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph. You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, coming back to Opeth. Yes, indeed, Opeth Fans Feeling You. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi-bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Comrade Chip, and Comrade Chip wanted to see me react to this song by Opeth called Windowpane. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's say this was posted by Opeth, no surprise there, and the video has 2.7 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Opeth, Windowpane, audio. So we're just going to have an audio track, no actual video. Okay. Oh boy. Audio only, no video, and a 7-minute and 45 long second song. Okay. Well, you guys know how I feel about longer songs. I got no issue with longer songs as long as they are well written, well constructed, well executed. They're engaging, they're interesting. I'm not bored. I'm entertained thoroughly. Then it's got nothing to worry about. On the flip side, though, if it's not well written, not well executed, not well organized, not well structured, if I'm bored, if I'm not entertained, if I'm not having a good time, I'm going to absolutely tear it to shreds. So we'll have to wait and see how this goes. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I like the 6/8, that's nice. And I like the subdivision work that's happening to the drums. Yeah.
Blank face,
Feels
no
nice.
Windowpane. Made clear in
Okay, which was the 4/4.
Disappears and returns again. Counting hours, searching the night.
Off to a good start. Back to the 6. Rob to the left. 4/4.
might be there for us to see.
We're off to a really good start. Really good start. I like the switch between the 6/8 and the 4/4 for two reasons. One, it keeps the listener vested, keeps the listener engaged. You're not going to get a chance to, sit back, fall into, some type of half awake slumber, spacing off into outer space. You're not going to be able to do that with this. You can't. It's going to force you to listen. It's going to force you to pay attention because it's going to keep you wondering and guessing, when are we going to switch things up again? The other thing it does is by doing that, having this section in 6/8, having this section in 4/4, they are really making it very easy to differentiate between each section of the song. Here's the main riff. Here's the verse. Here's the main riff again. Here's the verse again. Verse 2. It's smart. It's smart songwriting. What I love about it is the fact that every single time they've switched gears, every time they've switched direction, they have given it more than enough time for the listener to find the groove, get into the groove, and enjoy the groove. It's not happening rapidly. It's not happening every measure or two. No, they're sticking around on that for a while, giving the listener a chance to really get into it. And that, again, at least in my opinion, I think that's very smart songwriting. So good on them. No, like I said, we're off to a great start. We're definitely off to a great start. Let's keep going here.
Might be a little talking, might be staring directly at me.
Keyboard. Is that keyboard? Or is that sample? I think it's keyboard. Switch up on the drum there. That snare.
Slurred voice over children cry.
Little harmonization at the end. That was a nice touch. A little finality. Very subtle transition on that one. Very soft. very instrumentally focused, but it's not a pure instrumental. There are vocals, but the focus, without question, is on the instrumentals, in particular the guitar and the drumming. The guitar soloing is nice. It's being done very tastefully. It's showing and demonstrating some really nice techniques, some very tasteful techniques. A lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs, lots of sliding, integer slides, back and forth. I really like that. It for this style of song, it's very appropriate. Very Al Di Meola-ish. I don't know if you would want to go as far as to say it has a nice like a nice jazz guitar feel to it. I don't know if I would go that far, but there's definitely some tips of the cap to that direction. The drumming, if I'm being honest, I feel like the drumming's kind of stealing the show. Some really nice transitional fills. And not so much from a technique standpoint, but from an approach standpoint. Like the last time we transitioned from 4/4 to 6/8, if you weren't paying attention, you would have missed it because it was done so softly and so gently. If you blinked, you would have absolutely missed it. That was really well done. Very tasteful drumming. My only gripe about this so far is not so much what the drummer is playing or how the drummer is playing. It's how the drums are kind of mixed within the song. It is a little bright. It is a little... I don't want to use the word harsh because that's not the word I'm looking for, but it's definitely... It's along those lines. It's not harsh enough to be harsh, but it's definitely what's the word I'm looking for? I guess maybe the best way, bristly. It's a little thorny, maybe. Like a thistle, kind of like that. It's soft enough that they can get away with it, but at the same time, it definitely leaves you scratching a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's not the band's fault. That's definitely not the drummer's fault. That comes down to engineering. That's a post-production issue, but it still does affect the overall product. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the mix when it comes to the drumming, but the drumming itself, the playing of the drums, the execution of the drumming, the approach of the drumming, yes, all in favor of it. Not to take anything away from the vocalist. I mean, what the vocalist is singing fits the context of the song without question, but he's clearly not the focus. It's very obvious this is an instrumentally focused song. He's just kind of along for the ride and throwing his 2 cents in here and there. Nothing wrong with that. Every band has... Well, actually, that's not true. Not every band has a song like this, but there are some really good bands out there that have songs like this. Dream Theater's done it. Arion's done it. God, there's a band that's on the tip of my tongue. La 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 la. I can see them, but I can't get the name out for some reason. Let's move on. Queensryche's done it. Not the band I was thinking of. But Queensryche's done it. Lots of bands have done it. So nothing wrong with it. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. What? Really?
No response or
5, 8,
action
5, 1.
return. There is deep prejudice in me. Outshines a reason inside. Given dreams are riddled with pain and projected onto the light.
That's got a keyboard, but it sounds like track because of the filter they have on the keyboard, making it almost sounds like it's coming through a phonograph. But it's a keyboard. It's definitely a keyboard. Not a lot to talk about. If I'm being honest, there's not a ton to discuss here. I already talked about pretty much everything I wanted to discuss during the course of the reaction. So let me get my thoughts together. We'll hit some bullet points and we'll call it a day. Yeah. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Opeth with a tune called Windowpane. This was a request from Comrade Chip. Okay. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot to talk about that I didn't discuss at length during the course of the reaction, so we're going to just hit some bullet points and call it a day. So let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.3. Yep, 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. First things first, an 8.3. What does that mean? Well, an 8.3 would translate to a great skill rating because overall, I think this was actually a great song. It would also give 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.3, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Like I said during the course of the reaction, I always warn people when it comes to long songs, if I'm bored, if it's not well constructed, not well thought out, poorly executed, I'm gonna tear it to shreds, and I've done it in the past. On the flip side, though, I did say that if it's well constructed, well organized, well thought out, well executed, I'm enjoying myself, I'm having a good time with it, it's a fun listen, then it's got nothing to worry about. And this was definitely in the latter. 7 minutes and 45 seconds. If I'm being 100% honest, folks, it didn't feel that long. It felt like it was about 6.5, if I'm being honest. It felt like we shaved about 1 minute and 15 seconds off the total time. So what that translates to is I was enjoying myself and time was flying by. So that's always a good thing. If I'm having that much fun listen to a song, then the song's doing something right. The song was doing a lot of things right. I talked about the drumming. My only issue with the drumming was the mix, but that has nothing to do with the drummer. That has nothing to do with the band. That has to do with the engineer and the engineering and the producer. It is an issue for me anyway, personally, but as far as musicianship goes, it has nothing to do with the drummer. So, but it did affect the score. It did affect the score a little bit, because remember, I'm looking at the entire product. That includes production. The guitar playing, really nice. The guitar solos were all very tastefully done. The entire song had a instrumental focus. There were vocals. It was not a purely instrumental song. There were vocals, and the vocals did contribute in a positive way. The vocalist did a fine job coming up with a vocal performance that definitely lent itself very well to the song. But the focus, let's not kid each other, okay? The focus was on who? The focus was on the guitar player more than anybody else. I do personally feel like the drumming was a little bit of the focus as well. The drummer switching up the feel, the way that he was coming up with some nice grooves, some nice fills into transitions, and establishing the groove each time we changed tie signature. That was really the big thing for me, was the utilization of the the tie signatures that were used. And we only used two. We only used 6/8 and 4/4, but they were used very strategically. They were not overly used, and they were used in ways to really help enhance the song as a whole. So I got no problem with it. I know the song's a little on the mellower side. I kind of compared the guitar solos to like a jazz guitar style, like well, for example, I mentioned Al Di Meola right off the gun. Frank Gambale would be another one that I would definitely mention. Something around those lines, where it's able to play a little more on the mellow side, but still show off some nice, clean technique. So it was nice to listen to. Now, this was actually, believe it or not, this was a genuine joy to listen to. I had absolutely no problem. Not gonna lie, I saw that 7:45, and when I heard the song kick in, I was like, ooh, I don't know. Longer song with this kind of a laid-back feel, I don't know how this is gonna go. But no, at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great song. Very well executed, nicely done overall from top to bottom. So that's how I'm coming up with that 8.3. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.3, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.